16 of Mike and I's little, do we call it a podcast? Vidcast? I don't know.
We just rock it. It's not a podcast, but we can call it a podcast.
Let's call it a podcast. It's just kind of about we touted it why you must have skin in the game, and I suppose this has been prompted a little bit about what Mike and I did last week with a little free challenge that we did, and kind of something that we see, and maybe the importance of having a commitment to it. And it says sometimes it's a financial commitment. It's going, do you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, even though I know it's important. I'm actually going to invest in it, and maybe investment's a good way of thinking about it. I'm going to invest in this. We happily spend £300 a month on a car, but then we go,
and more in some cases.
Gym's like 25 quid. Oh, I'm not sure I want to join a gym. Yeah. So it's like, I suppose it's why it's important to have. Why is it important to have skin in the game? So we talked a little bit before, didn't we, about our little challenge last week, our little free challenge we ran, and we got some at first. We got some good engagement, didn't we, from the guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then it tailed off a little bit, and which is useful to us because when we're gonna run it again, we can get ahead of that problem. But firstly, why do you think that people tailed off a bit?
Well, I'd definitely give you some thoughts, but I think if we even take like a few steps back from that, just for context, we ran a free 5-day challenge last week, looking like 3 small habit changes and behaviors, maybe lose a little bit of weight, get a bit of energy, sleep better, and just helping to get people on a little bit of a better path. Maybe you can call it a little kick up the arse or a little reset or something like that. So we ran a free 5-day challenge last week. And the first thing I'd say is that if you looked at your network of people, Tom, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whichever socials you're on, how many people do you think you're connected with?
There's about 1,000 people on my mailing list there. I've got about 4,000 friends on Facebook. There's about 2,000 or so on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Instagram, not so much because I'm 42 and I'm only on
TikTok.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. What's that? That's probably nearing 8,000 people, I guess.
Let's just for easy maths, let's just say 10,000, shall we? Right?
Let's go for 10. Yeah.
So you've got 10,000. I've got about 8,000 on LinkedIn, probably almost 3,000 on Facebook, a group, email list. So let's say another 10 again, right? Yeah. So we've got 20,000 people between us that are connected, but obviously not everyone's looking to work on their health. But I would imagine a good percentage of those are looking to work on their health because they're connected with us, right?
Well, my mailing list is specifically they're guys that join my mailing list specifically for weight loss.
So even if we really, really lowballed it, let's just say 10% between us out of 20,000 people. What's that, 2,000?
Yeah, your maths is awesome.
That's why I need the easy maths. But, that's a lot of people that are probably connected with us because they're looking to work in health and fitness. So we put the free 5-day challenge. And the reason I'm going into this is that we put the free 5-day challenge out to everyone in our network, and we give it a good 2 weeks to promote it. And look, everyone's not going to raise their hands up, but we've probably got a lot of people that are looking to lose weight and a lot of people that aren't necessarily where they want to be. Let's say 2,000 people. And I reckon we got, about 20 that are interested. 20 people that actually put their hands up. Which, to be honest, if you're connected with us and you've seen our work and you're not in the greatest position with your health and fitness, but you only sort of like putting your hand up, like 20 people, it's a pretty poor show, to be honest. And, maybe we can look at our marketing, but I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that men, especially, aren't necessarily great at asking for help.
Yeah. No, I think
it's vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerability is tough. And actually, it's... I was talking about today with somebody about kind of being vulnerable, and actually it's and if I think about the examples of men in my life, my dad's my biggest kind of influence in who I am.
Yeah,
I don't think he ever showed any vulnerability. I don't think, and just it was more like a stiff upper lip, and it's
so British.
Yeah, I mean it's like So, and obviously he was probably slightly better than his dad, who I don't know, he probably never saw him. Probably saw him for there you are, son. Right, great. Okay, I've had my 10 minutes with you. Right, off you go to bed. And that's probably all he got. So it's just maybe that's filtered down. Yeah, and asking for help is hard, isn't it? But I would say on that note, what is the stronger thing to do? Is the stronger thing to do, and actually is actually asking for help, and that kind of strong silent. I don't think I think that's the wrong way around. They'd say that the strong silent type.
Yeah.
I think actually you are stronger if you're actually able to ask for help.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree, because that gets passed down. So again, like you talked about your dad and his experience with his dad, it's not good to show that you're not willing to be vulnerable and ask for help, because again, you're just going to pass that down to the next generation. And at the end of the day, life is not it's not necessarily easy. It can hit you like a ton of bricks at times, and we have a lot going on and all sorts of things, like lots of stresses. Like sometimes you just need that little bit of help. So the reason we wanted to do this is like talk about the fact that we've got lots of people that potentially want to work with us. We run a 5-day challenge, but we only get 20 people that put their hands up and say they want to join. And then when it actually come to committing, how many did we have on the challenge? 7?
So it was 7 or 8, I think, at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like seven people on the challenge, or 8 that wanted to join. And I think the biggest thing about that is that there's no skin in the game, and that's what we're talking about on this live tonight. Because it's a free 5-day challenge, so there's no commitment, there's no investment. If you don't follow it through, you've literally lost nothing, except maybe putting a little bit of time into it. So I think that's what we want to talk about tonight, is that if you're looking to do anything, maybe you've tried free stuff before and you're getting all this information, there's no accountability if it's free.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you don't get the result. So if you're going to do anything, we're going to delve into it. Back yourself and put some skin in the game. Yeah. Like you say at the top of the call, like most people are happy to finance a car for £300 a month for all these things to look good externally for people that maybe they don't even know about. But what about for yourself, for that self-respect and looking in the mirror and feeling good about yourself that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's like valuing an object like a car over yourself, like vastly over yourself. Or like my kids my children at school, like some of their friends are getting iPhones, and I was in a shop. I was absolutely amazed at how much an iPhone costs. It was like over £1,000.
I literally don't even know what an iPhone price is.
It's over, if you bought it, it's over £1,000 for a phone that you make phone calls with, and it's like, and you see, and I see them everywhere, and it's like, okay, you've done nothing. If you want an iPhone, buy an iPhone, whatever you want to do. But I then don't think, I'm going to spend I'm going to invest in myself a little bit, which actually is probably the most important investment you will ever make, is actually investing in yourself. Then I don't know, maybe there's something kind of a little bit out of kilter there.
Well, you see it all the time. You see people on social media, like, maybe putting up a post of like, I'm looking for a really cheap gym, or I'm looking for this. And it's like, people might be put off for a gym membership that's maybe like £40 a month, which works out like £10 a week. And if you're going there 2, 3, 4 times a week, it's probably going to be a really sound investment. Yeah. People would probably go out for a night out and spend £100, an afternoon down. We're not saying people shouldn't do stuff like that, but it's like weighing up, like what's really important to you, and what's actually going to give you a return on your investment. And imagine going to the gym is probably going to give you a better return than necking 10 pints and then some Jaeger bombs or something.
And maybe us, exactly. Maybe us offering a free challenge, maybe we're part of the problem. We're saying, here, have this free stuff, and actually there's the free help is out there everywhere.
Yeah,
there's every single bit of help there is, and we as a nation, as a world, we're getting kind of less and less healthy. And this, like was it on the last one you said actually the life expectancy has just gone down the first time ever.
Which to me, with all the modern technology we have, is just shocking, to be honest.
So yeah, maybe the idea of investing in yourself needs to be pumped up a little bit. And I suppose I know at the moment, like a lot of like with the squeeze on prices and things, I know it's tough for people, but I think it, like I said, it's the most important thing. This is the only body you've got, and looking after it doesn't have to cost a lot. But if you're spending money on other things, at the kind of the, I think so. The during where was it? There was a news article about people what they stopped paying for,
Yeah.
and I think gyms was the first thing.
Yeah, I think gyms were the first thing to go,
The first
or
thing,
like some form of house service. It'd be, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's
Probably the one thing if you are going that's really good for your mental health as well. That probably
yeah,
makes you eat better and healthier, which means you're probably not spending so much money on takeaways and food that's not great. So but look, we don't want to come in here and feel like we're just preaching and being judgmental, because that's definitely not what we do and about what we are. It's just about just asking those questions, and if you're going to do something, put skin in the game. And the reason we're sharing this is because we've been through coaching programs and spent significant money. And I'd say I've been through a few where I did some free stuff or some quite low price, and I didn't get result because it wasn't as good, because you pay for what you get. And also I had no commitment in there. There was no investments. There was no like, oh, wow, if I lose this 100 quid, it's just 100 quid. Whereas if I put thousands into it, I'm like, fuck me, I need to work at this because I want to get a return. So it feels different. And the other thing at the back of it, obviously it feels different because you're like, I'm taking this serious, but you also back yourself. And that feels different too. It's like I actually back myself to invest this amount of money in me, because you're investing it in you to move you forward in whatever it is you're doing.
yeah. And if you're, say, if you're not backing yourself to look after your health, then that's going to say that's with a kind of like we said with an arm round. It's like there's maybe that's part of the problem. If you're not willing to pay for a service to help you, then what does that say about you valuing yourself inside? What does that say about your self-worth? And like I said, it's none of these things are simple things to fix, but I think that's maybe something to go away and think about. Is why would I spend money over here and not think, I'm going to spend money on myself? And
Yeah, and also it's just whilst it's fresh in mind, sorry to interject, it's like the most successful people actually ask for help, because they normally want to be in a certain place, and if they don't have that skill set and they don't know how to get there, they look at who can get me there and how can I get there the quickest time as well, because they're busy and they want to get to this place. So it's like, well, I know this person over here is really good at it. I know their program's this much, or and I'll go and speak to them because they've done what I need to do, and I want to get there as quick as I can. Because you can go it alone. There's be people on there that have gone it alone, but it's probably going to take you longer. Probably going to spend a lot of time doing some things that aren't going to be the right things to do. And it's like, well, what's the flip side to it? Invest in someone that's been there and done it and got all the experience. You're going to get there quicker. You're not going to spend a load of time doing all the things that you shouldn't be doing. And you're probably going to get like a toolkit and sustainable. And you're also going to get professional help. People that have done it before.
Yeah, you're buying for all that knowledge, aren't you? All that knowledge and expertise and years of doing it. And maybe people have made all your mistakes as well. They might have made like for me, I hold my hand up, I made a lot of fitness health mistakes in my time. And like you said about it might take you a long time. It took me a lot fucking longer than it should have done to fix me, because I did it myself. And if I think back, if I just had the guts to go and find somebody to help me, I wouldn't have been Googling before Google. I would have been Yahooing or Alta Vistaing. But literally, I remember because I was traveling a lot for work and I'd be in a hotel room. So I remember searching for bedroom exercises. Can you imagine what came up when I searched for bedroom exercises? It wasn't what I was expecting.
I'd imagine if you was in a hotel, you was having a slightly different evening in then.
Yeah, but I didn't even know. So think about my knowledge. I didn't even know to search for bodyweight exercise. I didn't even know that phrasing, which is thinking about. It's like I didn't know what to search for. So,
but the thing is, people don't, because at the end of the day, unless you take a real interest in your health and fitness, like why would you know? We know because we're in this business, so what we have in terms of knowledge, we kind of presume that everyone knows that, but the reality is people don't. They don't know what's in certain foods and what's the best exercise to do, or all these things. So you're going to be spending a lot of time googling and potentially not getting anywhere. Anyway, so going back to the challenge, right? So we had, like anything, and I'm sure a lot of people on this, if you're watching, a lot of people can relate to this. So we had about 7 people at the beginning, and everyone posted in the group. Beginning of the week, yep, everyone was enthusiastic, everyone was supporting each other, and everyone was off to like a really good start. And then the next day, same sort of thing. And then guess what? By day 5, it all tailed off. We had 1 or 2 posts at the end.
Yeah.
We had 1 or 2 posts at the end.
A lot of nice, nice long ones with lots of information in, and about the good and the bad. So that was a really good thing.
But so we had sort of like 7 or 8 in there, but by the end, only 2 had actually sort of finished or give us the feedback. So, if you put skin in the game on that, if you've invested in that 5-day challenge, chances are you're going to take it a little bit more seriously because you've put some money in, you've got something to lose, and also you want a return. So there's a little bit of added accountability with that. Whereas, a 5-day challenge, and me and Tom were trying to keep people accountable. But at the end of the day, it was up to them to do what we agreed and check in with us and see how they got on. But because there was no money involved and no real accountability, we couldn't go and knock on their doors. And also, who wants that? You want to be accountable to yourself. We didn't, 1 or 2 probably did okay, but we've got like maybe 5 or 6 people that just tailed off. And I can guarantee there's people listening to this that will go, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and and I think you've got the similar kind of thing in your program. The kind of the little bump in the middle is like a little, when on any kind of program, the beginning is like an excitement, which I think is maybe why we had the beginning. People going, "Oh, I'm starting new. It's exciting. I don't really know Tom." And
it's also, to be honest, it's the easiest part as well.
Yeah, it's a start.
Really, you've got a little bit of enthusiasm. Everyone knows they can be better than the previous week for a few days. It's the easiest part to get going. And what we all know is that maintenance of weight and being consistent, they're the stuff that maybe it's not that exciting, but that's what needs to be done, really.
And maybe and then that kind of that little tailing off is like the little bump, kind of the little hump, and it can happen. I see it quite a lot, and you can get ahead of it. So I think it tells us that even it definitely happens in my longer program when I'm working with somebody over a few weeks, a few months. Definitely, you can see that and you can get ahead of it and you can catch it. But it was interesting to see it actually in such a short time, wasn't it? The kind of the
5 days.
Yeah, if I'm really motivated, I'm a bit less motivated. I'm not quite as excited. Oh, do you know what? I'm fine. And kind of this kind of feedback helps us because we can, as coaches, we can get ahead of that. And I was a bit surprised that in such a short length of time, there was a little bit of kind of tailing off. And they might have done brilliantly, but we don't know. And again, if you've done well and not celebrated it, that's indicative of something as well.
Yeah, that's important to recognize as well, and just take that time to reflect. So, you've got to get to a stage where you're holding yourself accountable, because you need to know whether your week's good, bad, indifferent, and it doesn't have to be like on the scales. I would certainly recommend some journaling to do a reflection of your week. We with our clients do wins of the week and help needed, or what could you work on and what would make it a better week. And unless you're reflecting on your week and going, well, what did work well? What did I struggle with? What could I have done different? Like, you're just going to sort of keep going through a little bit of a cycle, not really noticing what the challenges were and the struggles. And I know like everyone's busy, but there's definitely time to probably find 10 minutes at the end of the week to reflect on how your week was. And was it a good week? Was it successful? Did I hit, if someone that's successful in business certainly does that, don't they? Did I hit my KPIs for the week?
Yeah.
I like to look at non-negotiables in health and my health. Did I hit my non-negotiables each day? No. If not, okay, why not? What's meant I didn't hit them?
Yeah, and not judging that kind of, I use the word failure, not judging it and saying I'm a bad person for not making it. Going, what is that? because there can be all sorts of stuff going on. There could be lots of reasons why you don't hit those things. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's too little. Maybe there's no accountability. Maybe I've had things on lists before, like non-negotiables, that I've never done.
Mine are up here.
You got
the magic whiteboard paper, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, I've had them, some things on my list for months, and like they're sat there every day. And I know some of my clients have had things on their lists, easy things.
And then that voice goes, "Yeah, but I'm busy," and you've got to pull yourself up on that. Because what was it yesterday? So I'm aiming to read a chapter a day, and yesterday I reflected and I didn't read yesterday. And do you know what the first thing that went into my mind? I said to myself, I was busy yesterday. What a load of bullshit. So I was busy to find 10 minutes to read. That's not true. But I tried to lie to myself. And I caught myself. Obviously, this was only in my mind, but I caught myself and I was like, no, I wasn't busy. Because I definitely scrolled enough probably through my phone to find 10 minutes to read the book. So it wasn't that I wasn't busy. I actually just didn't prioritize it yesterday. And that's another sort of key here. Like, unless you're prioritizing it, blocking out time, putting some real focus into it, it's just going to keep moving to like next Monday and then next Monday.
So we've actually got a few good things there. We've got I like the idea of that reflection of the week or the day, like saving yourself time to do that. So I think that's a really good suggestion for people, a bit of a takeaway.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the other thing as well, and we spoke about this because we went live in the group every evening as well. So we was giving a lot of value to the guys. And these guys were with us for like 6 days. They had a first day and then all the way up to the 5th, 6th day. We said, ask questions. We didn't get any questions, right?
Not at all.
No questions, and I think that's, again, a little bit eye-opening that you've got some people that were looking to get some help from us, but there was no questions. Maybe that's a fear of judgment, although, it was a private group. Who knows what that reason was? But I think that's, again, it's a barrier that, if you're struggling, probably something that you need to look at and almost try and get over, to be honest.
Yeah, just again, maybe comes back to that vulnerability and the difficulty of us guys being the strong, silent type. I don't need any help, and actually, but inside, if we're honest, we might be kind of saying, like the little boy inside is going, I know I'm finding this hard and I do need help, and it's maybe listen to that inner voice, like Buzz Lightyear. Have you seen? You probably haven't seen Buzz Lightyear.
The Toy Story?
No, it's Toy Story 4. He's got this inner voice. He talks about his inner voice and he presses his button.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, inner voice, that kind of thing. So maybe we need to listen to that inner voice. And when like that, and maybe question it a little bit, like your inner voice basically said the other day, I was too busy. He said, oh, you're too busy. And then and you questioned it going, is that true? Is that true?
Basically, my inner voice lied to me because it wanted to protect me because it's easier to go, I'm too busy, than I didn't prioritize time. Basically, so look, we want to give you some takeaways and some things to think about. So I think first thing, of course, and this is why we're on here, if you can do anything, invest in a program, like if it's health, business, I don't know, work on your relationship, put skin in the game. You're getting some free sort of, I don't know, relationship advice, great, but I reckon if you probably went and saw a relationship counselor, you're probably going to move your relationship better and quicker, right? It's the same health and it's the same business. Put skin in the game because it feels different, and also it shows that you're valuing yourself and you want to get a return. So that'd be the first one I'd say. Put skin in the game.
Yeah, and that leads into that accountability, doesn't it? So I would find an accountability partner, whatever it is, whether it's a coach, whether it's someone in the gym, whether it's someone at the office. If you want to, like, I've had loads of friends and clients that wanted to run 5Ks, and they get a friend, and the friend says, right, it's Monday night, it's our running night, and they go, oh, I don't want to go, and they go, you said you wanted to go, and they would both.
You won't want to let that person down.
Yeah, exactly.
We're quite good at letting ourselves down. When it comes to someone else, you won't want to let that person down. So yeah, help each other.
Exactly, and I think anybody on like our little 5-day kind of highlights and what some of our clients have is, what if you start something, even if you haven't got skin in the game or not, just have a little think about, be aware that at the beginning it's exciting and you're going to be motivated, but that is not always going to be there and it might wax and it might wane, but you've got to kind of stay the course. And with health and fitness, it's about staying the course. It's not about massive motivation at the beginning of something. It's about going, how can I do this for my life? Because this is important. You're important. Fixing your health is important, and the flip side of it is not great.
Yeah, dude. I think we'll leave it there. I think there's certainly some things for our listeners to take away and really think about, and some things to work on. And yeah, as always, we appreciate any feedback, any shares, any likes, any comments. We really enjoyed doing these live. So if there's anything specific you want covered, maybe someone asks us a question for us to cover. Who knows? And then we'll certainly cover it.
Right. Cheers, Michael.
All right. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Tom.